Hello my friends and welcome back. It's the deployment phase for the early Madrid mission. But before we talk about early Madrid, I just want to say my last little bit about Toledo. So I've done some analysis. I was just under 700 prestige more efficient on my second attempt, which represented like a solid extra third prestige over my blind attempt. And I thought to myself, oh, you know, maybe there is a way to guarantee a win at the bottom there. And, I mean, you could go all in on that bottom lane. And by all in, I mean you could deploy your artillery down there, infantry, the auxiliary infantry that you can purchase, and really try and force the issue down there. But the thing is, the more I thought about it, the more I realized that if you do that, you're going to miss a lot of opportunities to kill the enemy in the middle and top very quickly and very efficiently. And you may end up just losing a lot of prestige and equipment opportunities. Because the bonus objective is only worth one commendation. And that one commendation is not particularly valuable. Not really. And you'll end this campaign with a lot of spare commendations, most likely. So, the funny thing is, the most efficient way to do that mission, if you don't care about that one commendation, might be to just not bother with the bottom area at all. Just let the... it's funny. Just let the Spanish infantry down there die. As swiftly as possible, and then they will stop spending your prestige fixing themselves constantly, and then just win the fight for the city and absorb all the enemy there, and go to the right and absorb all that, and just lock the enemy down there and forget about them. That might actually be the most efficient way to fill your pockets with prestige and equipment, as long as you don't mind giving up that one commendation. Of course, the one time that you decide to do that, the AI will fight like a champion and then survive and survive and survive and spend all your points. So you can't win. So I just thought that those were some points of interest. But at the end of the day, it's random. You are relying on an AI ally, and their behavior is random, and there's not really much you can do about it. Okay, so anyway, with that aside, and in the bin, let's get on with preparing for this. Okay, so this tank, I ran out of spares for it, but that's okay because it was only temporarily that I used this model, the Vickers, because I ran out of T26s. Well, I actually have T26s going spare now, so I can swap back over. And swap over I shall. Now, we have received, rather pleasingly, I'm going to uncamouflage this guy as well. We have received our first offensive hero. Ignores entrenchment. Not the greatest offensive hero, but better than most people give it credit for. And I'll explain why in a minute. But first things first, I'm just going to uncamouflage this because we're not going to do anything with it. And I'm going to go back down to standard overstrength. Going back to my standard tactics and strategies. Okay. I don't know if there's a... So we actually captured a number of these. A very solid upgrade over the over the scout cars that we have access to. Like, very solid. Although this one is a little bit slower, but it's also half track, I think. Oh no, it's still considered wheeled. A little bit slower, but a little bit tougher. Anyway, I'm not going to use that at the moment. Reserves. I don't know if we should shuffle this anti-tank gun back in. It's really never done me any good, though. Let's get our strat bombers back in. Let's get our scout plane back in. Let's get our other tactical back in. And I guess we might as well shove this back in. Okay, and we're back to standard. Now, ignores entrenchment. The reason why that is a better hero, offensive hero than most people give it credit for is that most ground units always have some level of entrenchment. They have a base level of entrenchment. Not on an open flat tile though, but for example in the forest 3 out of 10, in cities 4 out of 10. I can't remember on hills, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple there. So it does result in a damage output increase. So what we're going to do is we can now use our Junker for entrenchment busting. And with the ability to ignore entrenchment, it's going to be able to put some hurt in while it busts entrenchment. You could use this combination on a tank as well. But the problem is that tanks and recon cars have not got any close defense. And I think you would mostly want to use this to unseat infantry. This will actually be very effective at that task. I don't know if I really need to give this a special camo because it's my only Junker, but I might upgrade, so. Okay. Now, we did receive some 88s. And one thing I would like to say is the 88 anti-aircraft gun is by far the most vicious anti-tank device that I have at this point in the game. Almost ridiculously so. So thank you, prototypes. My understanding is that this actually has something like 20 anti-tank when set down in anti-tank mode. I mean, its anti-tank stat is actually really solid even when it's in anti-air mode. So it's quite the beast of a system. It's one extra it's one extra slot over the 75mm with standard strength. And the key difference, of course, is the range. The range is, you know, 3 range is so much better than 2. So I might keep those 88s in my pocket for now. I don't know if I need to deploy them just yet. But it's certainly something to consider. For now, we're going to stick with the light anti-air. Because look at this, look at how wide this deployment area is. I'm going to need lots of anti-aircraft guns to try and protect everything. Right, let's talk about auxiliaries. Do you know what? I'd almost... How many of these have I got left? It looks like none. Okay, I've got 11 spares. I have a fair amount more spares of the 75 than I do the 88. Okay, I was thinking of undeploying my scout plane and deploying it. Because, frankly, I may consider, if I move this to reserve, if I change this scout plane to a spare unit, maybe another set of junkers, or a HS-123A. Why can't I upgrade to that? Oh, probably because I haven't got enough slots lying around. I should do, though. I have 2 slots here, and the plane itself is 1. That would be 3. Oh, it's overstrength. That's why. It strikes me that, I'll find the right camo here. There we go. Is that the right camo, or was it this one? Oh, well, whatever, that'll do. It strikes me that if you want scout planes, you should just deploy them as auxiliaries. Why waste a precious core slot on it? Just send them on a one-way trip each mission. Which camo is this? I actually want to know. Because it's not this. Okay, it's that one. Let's try and be organized here. Yeah, so it makes no sense to have a, you know, there's a realization I'm having now. It makes no sense to have a scout plane as part of your main force when you can deploy it as an auxiliary. I mean, who cares? It's 30 prestige, right? Deploy a couple as auxiliaries, and don't waste your precious core slots on it. Okay, so in this mission there's no bonus objectives, there's no hidden caches, no hidden caches. All you have to do is take 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be fine. Plus any of these would also be fine. So this is just a straight up fight mission, or, you know, a straight up let's try and prevent our Spanish friends from wasting too much of my prestige mission. Anyway, to that end, you know, once again, it's a question of what you want to deploy. I think it makes sense to use auxiliaries because you have the issue that your Spanish friends are going to throw your precious health, your precious prestige away. So why don't you do so also? By the way, their fighter is actually superior to the one that you have access to. Like, not by a little bit, by a lot. So I'm going to take a couple of bait fighters. Not only is it superior, but it's freaking cheaper too. These bait fighters will cover my own fighters. They're fantastically inexpensive though. Something like 33 cost. And then of course we're going to want some infantry because we want some infantry that we can direct. And that is at our complete disposal. I wouldn't consider the prestige for this wasted. It's going to save me prestige in the long run. Right, time to deploy my forces. Going to use my standard, I don't know what's out there, setup. Now I really wonder whether I should upgrade to this. It is a much better scout car. If only a little bit slower. Oh, it doesn't have rapid fire though. But I mean, so against infantry it's actually slightly inferior. I think I would want more spares before I consider making that move. Right, one last thing to do before we deploy actually is to decide where to put my double EXP hero. Which unit most needs to level up and will most see action. Funny that my recon cars are gaining EXP at such an incredible rate. Just goes to show how much I use them. Which units I use and how much I use them. Gained some really serious EXP last time. Let's put it on this guy because he needs to level up. Okay, alright, let's get deploying. Don't know why I put that away. One tank down here, one tank up here. Heaviest tank in the middle. Then recon car at the top, recon car down the bottom. It's a shame I can't put one over here. Artillery, one here, one here. Not that one. This one. I better re-camo this one. I camoed it once, but then I redid Toledo. I think we settled on... What did we settle on? I think it was like some Iranian camouflage or something that looked quite nice. That'll do. Look at that weird pink stripe. I don't like any of the ones that make the wheels weird colours. It's got to be aesthetically pleasing. Some of these are quite interesting. This is the one we went for last time. Okay. Him in the middle, of course. Primary anti-air in the middle as well, with companion anti-air, each supporting its own artillery. And my much malaligned anti-tank, which I've always hoped to get some experience on. With the survivor trait. He's the only guy that's actually gotten a trait, funnily enough. Okay, fighters. Here and here, supporting the bait planes, which ironically are better than the ones that I can deploy. Junk makers in the middle, where I can most defend them. Tactical here, extra fighter here. Strat here. Strats here. Actually, let's move this strat over here. Okay, I don't think that these strat bombers are particularly exciting, but you know, once again, it's a question of leveling them up for future, a future moment where an actually good strat bomber comes along. And that is not now. Okay, and I think we are done with our deployment. Let's have a look at everything and just make sure that we've not missed anything new or exciting. This is not new. That's been sat there for a while, being ignored by me. Prototypes have really worked out for us, you know. The Junker is a fine piece of kit. And the 88 is also a fine piece of kit, which I will use at some point. Looking through our wall of captured stuff. It's mostly tanks and artillery, of course. It would be nice to get some more of this 45mm, because that's a straight upgrade for the anti-tank gun that I have. I have a lot of this not particularly good 70mm and 75mm. I don't understand what the point of them are. I guess because they're one core slot cheaper, so you can deploy more of them. But statistically they are quite poor. So it really makes you wonder if massing them would be that effective. Okay, and that's it. We're ready to go. So yeah, once again, general setup. Don't know what's out there, but we'll soon find out. And with our throwaway scout planes, a good scout on the first turn should be a lot easier. Like, a lot easier. Okay, hope you enjoyed this deployment video, and I will see you guys next time.